Transplanting is very, very important. A lot of your plants that you acquire, whether from a garden center or wherever, will need transplanting into a container or in the open ground. It's a natural part of gardening. Here is a type of tomato we have called tumbler tomato. And when we transplant these, you see all these roots on here, we'll actually tear some of these roots away, which is okay, it doesn't hurt the plant. And they will root all along their stems. So what you see me doing here is I'm taking off a whole bunch of leaves. I'm going to leave one at the top, and I'm going to dig this hole fairly deep, and I'm going to push him in fairly deep, something about like that. And then I'm going to take some soil and add it on the top. Now, the other thing with tomatoes, they're very, very heavy feeders. So you can supplement with a liquid fertilizer, which you can get at almost any garden center, or what you can do when you're planting in is put in a scoop of what we call slow release fertilizer. And this will provide fertilizer for about 90 days or so. And this guy will get very, very big. He'll get to be about like that, okay? And so after it's planted in, water it in very, very thoroughly. It'll need water about once a day during the heat of summer as it gets established. Sometimes a lot of people will plant herbs in their garden, and they may be this size, they may be a little bit smaller, but if they're this size, when they go to transplant them, whether they're putting them in a container or the open ground, the critical thing is when they get their herbs home, they'll take them out of the pot, and you see all these lovely roots around the outside. Well, those roots are so root bound that they like to be scored. And this actually doesn't hurt the plant, it stimulates it to grow a lot more roots. And then if you're planting it in the open ground, the rule is the same. You know, you want to root the hole for the plant about 2 to 2.5 times wider than this is. So it would be something about like this. But since we're putting it in a container, the soil is loose enough that the roots will go out and then just fill in around. And herbs aren't as heavy feeders as tomatoes are, so they don't need that extra slow release fertilizer. They'll happily subsist on regular fertilizer a few times throughout the season. So once I put it in, I firm the soil around, okay, whether they're being put in the open ground or in a container, and then I water it in the same way.